You're reading this on a phone or a laptop, maybe in an electric car stuck in traffic.
Doesn't matter which. Every single one of them depends on the same place, one island.
36,000 square kilometers, smaller than the state of Maryland. Water on every side.
With 110 miles straight separating it from the country that wants it most.
The name is Taiwan. No oil, no gold, no massive army.
But it makes 90% of the world's advanced chips. 90%. That's not a headline exaggeration. That's the raw number.
And China wants that island. Always has. But the reason changed. Now it's worth trillions. To understand what's actually at stake, we need to look at a company most people have never heard of, but everyone depends on. TSMC, Taiwan Semiconductor Manufacturing Company, founded in 1987. Today, quietly, the most important company in the world. NVIDIA designs the chip. Apple draws the chip. Qualcomm specifies the chip. None of them build it. Building an advanced chip isn't assembling a production line. It's applied quantum physics at industrial scale. TSMC builds it. They're the ones who turn a design into silicon that fits on a fingertip and runs billions of calculations per second. Their smallest node today, 3 nanometers. For reference, a single human hair is 80,000 nanometers thick. This isn't standard manufacturing, it's engineering at the physical limit of matter, and only one company on Earth does it at industrial scale. Samsung tries, Intel tries, China's SMIC tries, and we'll get there. In advanced chips, 7M and below, TSMC holds between 90 and 95% of the global market. That's not market dominance, that's a monopoly. Those advanced nodes generate 74 to 77% of the company's total revenue. In 2026, revenue is set to grow another 30%. Every NVIDIA H100, every iPhone chip, every processor running an AI model, every onboard computer in an electric car came from Taiwan. But there's one detail that makes all of this even more fragile than it looks. To build cutting-edge chips, you need EUV machines, extreme ultraviolet lithography, a manufacturing technology that took 30 years to exist. Only one company in the world builds those machines, ASML, Dutch. Each unit costs $200 million, and the United States controls the export licenses. You also need ultra-pure materials. Most come from Japan, specialty gases, photomasks, chemical compounds that no other country produces at the required volume. Dutch machines, Japanese materials, Taiwanese talent, American design. Everything converges on a 36,000 square kilometer island, a single node, no immediate substitute. Now China enters, and the tone of this story changes. China imports more than $400 billion in chips every year, more than oil. Chips are the strategic resource of the 21st century. And the ones that matter, the advanced ones, don't come from China. They come from Taiwan, from a company Beijing doesn't control, on an island Beijing calls its own. For a government that preaches technological self-reliance, paying $400 billion a year to what it calls a rogue province is a contradiction that cuts deep. Without advanced chips, there's no competitive AI, no cutting-edge 5G, no modern military aviation, nothing that defines power in the 21st century. Stop. Subscribe now, because what comes next is where the risk stops being theoretical. SMIC is China's semiconductor champion, Beijing's answer to TSMC. In 2020, they reached the 7M node, 5 years late, with a yield the industry politely calls inconsistent. And they stopped there, because EUV machines for 5M and below are blocked by American sanctions. Without ASML, China can't manufacture at scale below 7M. The technology gap between China and Taiwan isn't closing, it's widening. The AI race accelerates demand for 3M and 2M nodes. China has neither. And when you can't win a race, it gets tempting to change the rules of the game. So what happens if China takes Taiwan? Not diplomatically, militarily. The estimates are brutal. The most conservative numbers put global losses at $2 to $10 trillion in the first year alone. For the US, between $1 and $2.5 trillion. Worse than 2008, worse than COVID, but faster. Auto plants offline, AI servers dark, electronics without replacement, defense systems without updates, everything that runs on an advanced chip freezes. One Taiwanese executive said it plainly, it would set us back decades, and he was being careful with his words. There's a concept called the silicon shield. The idea, global dependence on Taiwan is so intense that no rational actor would dare destroy the island. It's a smart bet and a frightening one at the same time. Taiwan's security doesn't rest on missiles, it rests on a supply chain. But Beijing doesn't need to destroy, it can block, pressure insurers, run military exercises that freeze commercial routes, the right threat in the right place. We already learned this from Hormuz. No war was needed to stop 20% of the world's oil. One message on a VHF radio. Let me be direct. I spent years assessing whether economic dependencies actually stop conflicts. I studied sanctions, blockades, financial pressure campaigns, read the reports, wrote some of them. The honest answer is sometimes yes, never guaranteed. The silicon shield holds as long as each side believes the cost is real and that the other side will calculate rationally. Governments don't always do that. When one side decides that strategic humiliation weighs more than GDP, economic deterrence stops nothing. I'm not predicting a war, that's not what I do. What I'm saying is this: building the security of an island on a supply chain is exactly the kind of elegant reasoning that looks solid right up until it doesn't. And by then, it's too late to build an alternative. Washington noticed the fragility. In 2022, the CHIPS Act injected $52 billion to bring chip manufacturing back to American soil. TSMC is building plants in Arizona, Japan, and Germany. Total investment, $165 billion, the largest private industrial project in recent history. But here's the problem nobody wants to say out loud. Neither Arizona, nor Japan, nor Germany will reach cutting-edge advanced capacity before 2030. And even then, it's a fraction. The American target is 20% of global advanced capacity by the end of this decade. 20%. Taiwan holds 90% today. The world built the digital age on a single point of failure. One island, one company, one street in an industrial park in Hsinchu. Decades of optimization, lean supply chains, efficiency without redundancy. The result? The global 21st century economy runs on 36,000 square kilometers that two countries dispute with missiles. China doesn't need to invade tomorrow. It just needs to wait or press slowly, with patience, because time favors whoever's willing to apply pressure without breaking. The island is still there. The chips keep shipping. Chinese military jets keep flying near the strait, and the entire world pretends this is sustainable. If this video made you think, subscribe.
The algorithm won't push this kind of content. You had to look for it, and you found it. And if you want to understand how a country can lose its most talented generation before a single war begins, Brazil just did exactly that. 5 million people, doctors, engineers, entrepreneurs, gone. The link is right here. Watch it before it disappears from your feed.